Hey everyone, I'd like to welcome you back to our homestead, Bloody Fork Creek Homestead, or Bloody Fork Homestead. And I'm at the upper garden, and I've had short videos of this garden before, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about why do I garden? I'm 65 years old. My wife is 65. We came here in 2019 in September, cleared some area up here because we wanted to have a garden. I mean, we could kick back in retirement and not do anything, be couch potatoes. But the interesting thing is, I was just talking to a neighbor across the way, and they're very well-to-do, and probably sitting on $1 million or so in their house and their land, or might even be more than that, I don't know. But what were they doing? They were gardening. Why? Because there's something in them too. They wanted to garden. Even when they're 85 years old, why garden? Because you want to work with your hands. There's something about it, getting your hands in the soil and providing for yourself. I first started gardening in 1977. This was in Swansea, South Carolina. I guess it was actually 78. We were married in 77, going to college in Columbia, South Carolina. We lived in Swansea, South Carolina. And Swansea is sandy. And if you know anything about central South Carolina, it's hot. We had a place, and it was very sandy. I bought 102 tomato plants. And you know how many tomatoes we had that year? 0. I couldn't keep them watered. I couldn't keep up with them. I tried to garden, but it was difficult in that area. And there were some people that were successful at gardening in South Carolina, but you learn. One of the things you learn is wherever you're at, you adapt to it. We moved from there, and I pastored a little church in 5 Mile, Ohio. 5 Mile, Ohio is called 5 Mile, Ohio because it's 5 miles from anywhere. And there was a dairy farm there. We lived in a mobile home, and behind the mobile home I grew a garden. And this also happened to be the place that the farmer dumped a lot of manure. It was a convenient place to dump manure. And I tried gardening again. And anything I planted, it grew like crazy. Green beans, silver queen corn, melons, no matter what I did. And I thought, man, I'm a gardener. I didn't give up. And it was good to have. We lived on $200 a week. We had some meat, and we had some milk from the dairy farm, and I also had what we could provide with our garden. We put up a lot of food. I remember that was the time we bought a canner we're still using to this day. But why do you garden? And that's it. No matter what happens in our world, whether we're headed for a depression, a recession, or whether we're in a pandemic, it doesn't matter. If you can work with your hands and provide for yourselves, have a source for your own vegetables and fruits and also meat. One of the things we do here, we hunt, and we have goats too. We have being able to provide for yourself no matter what happens in the world. That's a big part of our philosophy, and I know it is for many of you. Let me encourage you as young people, if you've tried to garden, don't give up. It's trial and error many times. There's much to be learned by looking at a lot of these YouTube channels where people have become successful at gardening. Pick up their tips. I just learned one from the 87-year-olds across the way when they were gardening. Something to do with tomatoes. There's lots of good tips, but the main thing is try again. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And let me just encourage you, if you're thinking about homesteading, or if you're thinking about gardening, or if you're getting ready to retire, what are you going to do? Are you going to kick back and sit in your condo all day and get fat and sassy and get a heart attack and die? It's one of the healthiest things you can do in retirement is to garden, to get out in nature. And, you know, the Lord willing, do it as long as you can. It's one of the healthiest things you can do. again, I just wanted to reiterate a little bit more why we garden, and also do another tour of this particular garden. I've done little tidbits of it, and I'll do that on the next episode. But thank you for being with me today. Don't give up. Keep gardening. Keep learning those tips. It's well worth it, being able to provide with these. These are the most important things that you have. These are the most important assets you have up here and here. Both of those things. Thank you.